Okay, so let's take a look at cognitive workforce planning in action. In this scenario, we've got a fictitious company, and in part one of this demo, we'll have a look at, they have a gut feeling that they're losing store managers, and they want to prove that's true, and if it is, do they have enough junior store managers to replace them? Part two, we'll look at, do we have those store managers, and do we have those skills in-house? And in part three, well, how do we stop the store managers from leaving in the first place? So let's move on to part one, and we'll look at exploring the data to support a hypothesis, then being alerted at trends in the data that we might see, and we'll bring a lot of different data sets together to give a complete picture to help us make better decisions. So here we are in the tool, and immediately you'll notice that I've got a data quality score, so I can make some decisions on how good that data is. I can go in here and I can immediately see trends in the data, but the first thing I'm going to do is actually type in a natural language query. So no complex type of formula. I'm just going to type into there. Let's have a look at the attrition risk of all our job titles, and that'll bring me back a visualization. I can then go and sort that visualization so I can get a better understanding. And I can see straight away that my store managers are in danger of leaving, and so I might want to explore that a bit further. Up the top here though, the system has already looked for patterns in the data and understands that here's some other influences of what you might be seeing. In this case, age seems to be a good attribute of attrition. And we can see there's some certain things happening in certain age groups where they're actually leaving the company. And we may want to take steps to address those. But we're going to focus here on our problems with our store managers leaving and the number of junior managers that we have to actually fill those places. But we can have a close look at the data here. We might have a look and see if we have a problem in our diversity. So we can look at do we have more females than males leaving? I get a visualization here, and I can stack those to make them far easier to read. And you can see here it's around about 50-50 between male and female, so that doesn't seem to be an issue for us here in why our store managers are leaving. But we can also explore other attributes, so maybe it's not their gender, but maybe it's their ethnicity that's causing them to leave. You can see here now I've got a visualization of that, and I can see that I have a problem with my Irish population. My Anglo-Saxons are very likely to stay, but have a high attrition risk with my certain demographics. So maybe I want to address that in what I'm doing. But, okay, we know that our store managers are likely to leave, but what we really want to now do then is understand, do we have enough junior store managers to actually go and replace them if they do actually decide to leave. So let's have a look at how many employees we have by job title. That's a fairly simple query, but we can very quickly answer it here within the tool. It's given us the exact question we need to ask. We click on that question, we get a visualization. Now again, I'm going to sort that to make it easy to read, and I've got a bit of an anomaly here in that there's one that stands out. So maybe that's a glitch in the data, or it's distracting my attention, so I might want to go and exclude it from the results. Now I can see that I've got plenty of store managers, but I probably don't have enough junior store managers in line to replace them. And even though I now know the numbers, let's talk about, well, how good are they? Let's have a look at, we could go look at their competencies, but in this case we've ranked them about their likelihood to actually be promoted on the job. So what's their potential to actually move up to the next level? So again, I'll get a view of that. I like them stacked so I can make an easy comparison. You can see most of them are in the medium category, not too many lows and not too many highs. So that tells me we probably need to have some sort of hiring strategy to go and get some high potential junior store managers to replace our store managers when they may decide to leave. That leads us to the next question, which is how hard is it to actually go and find a junior store manager? So we can have a look at how long is it taking us to hire. So now we're combining not only the data about how many people we've got and their competencies and all those type of things, but also with our recruitment data. So how hard it is for us to go and actually find one of these junior store managers. So I can quickly go and ask that particular question. The machine says, hey, is this what you meant to ask? And of course it is. And I can go get a visualization of that, and whoa, okay, straight away we can see that for whatever reason there's a problem in actually attracting. There's a big lead time for junior store managers, so we might want to start our recruitment campaign straight away. Again, the system is finding trends within the data that we may not have been aware about, and it's alerting us to those. And you can see all the factors across the top here are pointing to age group being a contributor to days to hire for those particular campaigns. So we might want to go and alert someone about this, so we can just export it out to PowerPoint and actually share it with whoever needs to understand this particular problem within our business. Okay, so what did we see there? We saw exploring the data to support the hypothesis that we don't have enough junior store managers. We also got alerted in the data to other trends in the data that we saw. And we also combined two different data sets to help us make better decisions when we're thinking about our workforce planning activities.